HappyFresh started actually in late 2014. The founding team was split between KL and Jakarta at the time. The reason why they wanted to launch this service was really because they had found it very tough personally to be able to get good quality food, healthy, clean food, while still juggling a very busy lifestyle with work in the region, and especially given all the traffic and parking issues that we encounter here. It was really hard to actually go out and buy groceries and cook good food at home. So I think that was the initial impetus for this idea. On the flip side, what we also noticed was more and more consumers wanting to buy their needs online. And we've seen this wave come through for electronics and fashion and furniture, but it hadn't really reached groceries yet. But we believe very strongly that this is going to be an inevitable trend that more people will buy groceries online. Yet the existing retailers probably didn't really know what to do about this yet. They hadn't really spent a lot of time thinking about it. So we felt they could do with a really experienced partner to kind of help sell their groceries through an online channel. So that's where we are today. I think it's a couple of things. I think we'd seen that overseas in more mature and developed markets, a rising trend in buying groceries online. So you could see online share of grocery spending increasing from a few percentage points to upwards of 10%. So we knew that these markets were leading the way in terms of grocery e-commerce. That was one. And they were implementing a new business model. So it was very different to Webvan of the 2000s, where they built out massive warehouses and fleets and so on. It was very much an asset-light model, O2O, hyper-local, leveraging off the inventory of existing retailers to bring groceries to your doorstep through an online channel. I think we underestimated the challenges in a lot of different ways. I think selling groceries online is very different to selling any other kind of product online, because you're dealing with upwards of tens of thousands of different products. The prices change during the day, the quantity changes during the day, the freshness and the quality of the items changes during the day. So how do you maintain that kind of content and product assortment on your phone when it's changing so much inside the store? How do we make sure that what you see in the store is actually available in the app? How do we deliver that consistently to you on time, given the traffic issues and infrastructure issues we face? How do we make sure that frozen ice cream is still frozen when they reach your house? So all of these things, I think, are very big challenges which we maybe underestimated at the time, and we're slowly working through them as we go. I think we had a press conference when we launched with Jason's. That was a huge win for us, because they're probably the most kind of premium gourmet grocer in all of KL. And as I mentioned, they're part of the largest grocery retailing group, not only in Malaysia but also regionally. So the fact that they trusted their brand with us, and they believed that we could bring a lot of value to them and their customers, and share our expertise on the online world and combine with their expertise in the offline world, that for us was a huge stamp of approval. The fact that we were partnered with them. And so being at the press conference, having some of the senior management there as well to kind of give us the big thumbs up, that was really awesome. The big challenge for us is how do we marry kind of the whole online aspect of things with the fact that we still physically move real products. We're not completely digital in the world of bits and bytes. We actually move things from A to B, and so that involves while we have technology and data and we can leverage off that, at the end of the day, somebody still has to go to the store and pick the items for you. Somebody still has to deliver them from the supermarket to your house. So I think that's the part of the organization that's going to grow as we get bigger and bigger and we fulfill more and more orders. So I think finding the right people who have a kind of customer service mentality, because our shoppers and drivers are actually the ones who are interacting with our customers. I'm sitting in the back office, but I don't interact directly with them. So making sure that we hire people with the right kind of mindset, and then we train them up so that we maintain the quality across every order every single day. I think our core strategy has been to partner up with some of the larger retailers, your Village Grocers, Jason's Food Hall, as I mentioned, so some of these larger chains. But at the same time, we want to offer people as much choice and selection as possible. So we have been also working with some specialty retailers, like those who sell organic produce or more kind of ethnic groceries, like Korean groceries, for instance. So some of these partners are what you would consider to be SMEs as well. And so we provide a platform for them to really reach new customers, because maybe they don't have the resources or the expertise to kind of get the brand awareness out there. So we, HappyFresh, with the resources and the team that we have, we're able to do a lot of online and offline marketing to acquire new customers for them. First is never give up. I think startups and tech companies have been a bit glamorized in the last few years, where people think it's a really cool thing to do, and you just have to have a nice logo and a nice website and people will flock. I think it's not true. I think any business you go into is tough, and it's been true for ages. People also think a lot of people want to open their own cafe or their own restaurant because they think it'll be really cool to own a cafe, but hobbies are hobbies and businesses are businesses. So you really do have to work hard, you have to be strong, and you have to sometimes accept that you're going to face setbacks, that the market is not going to accept your product so quickly, that it's going to be hard to convince people to take money out of their wallet to pay you. But if you have a really strong belief in your product and the value that you bring to customers, then keep that mindset and stay strong. I think that's my first advice. You have to be persistent and tenacious to eventually get there. I think there's a lot of stories of entrepreneurs who've faced multiple challenges and stayed the course, and eventually it pays off. And I think that's really true. The second is, I think, always try to be learning something. I really subscribe to this whole lean startup philosophy of starting with a MVP, always trying new things and learning as much as possible, measuring the results and then iterating from there. I think the moment you start doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So you should always try different things, and as long as you're learning something about your customer or your product or yourself or your team every day, then you still have a chance at success. Last year or 2 years ago, the buzzword around was everybody wants to be a unicorn. I think the buzzword of this year is everybody wants to be a cockroach. Like you want to survive the nuclear winter, and I think that's very true. Like startups, yes, in the beginning you do need funding to kind of build the business and build the traction, but it doesn't mean that you can be loss making forever. We're not in this to be a charity. We're in this to be a business, and so every dollar you put in, you have to get something more out. So I think having a real focus on your unit economics or profitability, unit economics particularly for e-commerce companies, so making sure every order you send to the customer, you actually make some money. I think that's really, really important, and I think too many startups in the past have ignored that or put that off for the future. But you really need to have a clear path to profitability. Doesn't mean that you have to start day one being profitable, but you should have a plan and you should have a good idea and a realistic way of getting there eventually.